you doing, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. This is going to be a video kind of talking a little bit about some speculation, things that I want to see, and then, kind of covering things that have happened on the channel here in the last week. We've had a really exciting last week with taking a portrait together at the Jump Point Experiment and, having some amazing subcast slash podcast, with people calling into the show, talking about their speculation, and that we gave a review of No Man's Sky, where it was a collective effort. We came together like the Convergence and gave a review of No Man's Sky for people that are playing Xbox, and I'll link that down below. I'm also thinking about making a shorter version of that, and so if you see me upload that, shorter version, so that way it can go around the Xbox community a lot easier than instead of people saying an hour-long, whoa, an hour-long review. I'm not clicking that, and I just want the message to get out there so people can understand what other people think about the game. People that have been playing it for almost 2 years, not people that haven't played it at all. So I want to get that review out there. Get it shortened down and get it uploaded. But I want to talk about some speculation. With Atlas Rises, this update is also, said it's going to be the biggest update of all. So that means it's going to be bigger than Atlas Rises. And when we were speculating about Atlas Rises, we didn't speculate enough, if you remember. I mean, we thought, well, gosh, this is scary, guys. We're speculating too much. And then when Atlas Rises came out, we were like, oh my gosh, we didn't speculate enough. This is great. So this was supposed to be bigger than Atlas Rises. So and an interesting thing about this update is really the only lead that we have to go off of that's based off of fact is multiplayer. Everything else is, kind of not like out there. It's just everything else outside of that, it's like purely speculation. And then you got the common sense things, like more lorry, more terrain, improvement, and things like that, which brings us to, the Great Reset. Something that we got going on over on Cobra TV, the Great Reset, which I had the Drunken Taco voice over some kind of end of times thing, and I edited it, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on right now, and then we'll start talking about some of the buildings and things like that that I would like to see in No Man's Sky that I think are in the pipeline. But here's the Drunken Taco and my remix.
Our demise is upon us, travelers. Prophecies have foretold the destruction of our universe. I encourage all travelers, interlopers, nomads alike to repent our sins and embrace each other in this trying time. Our universe is about to be reset. Our homes destroyed. All creatures on every planet will be twisted and transformed into new forms and beings. Fear the Atlas, Loop 16, and all the forces that want to tear apart our fabric of what we think is our reality. The end is coming! The end is coming! Find a safe place and brace for impact. I hope we are all the same. After the Great Reset, 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 reset. The end is coming! I hope we are all the same after the Great Reset.
So, but with the last couple subcasts, we've turned into like an end of times paranoid conspiracy channel, and I think that's kind of cool. I like the theme that we've got. That's sort of organically starting to happen over there on our subcasts, and I think it's really cool. We had the Drunken Taco. I don't know what was going on, but get a little paranoid in one of the subcasts, which I thought was pretty funny. Let's talk about the buildings. So we've got with Atlas Rises, we got those circular buildings. You remember those circular buildings that was in the trailer? We'll go ahead and take a look at that. You know, there's those circular, not circular buildings, but circular structures, rather. And we were always wondering, pre-release of the game, what those could possibly be used for. And when the game came out, they weren't in the game. But then, you know, all of us who got the Collector's Edition, the Explorer's Edition, we ended up the Collector's Edition, Special Edition, and the Explorer's Edition, whatever. Both of those, the PC one and the PS4, when we got the 14-page or whatever art book, inside the art book, we saw those circular structures. And I was like, yeah, I remember those. Those aren't in the game. Oh, that's a bummer. And then there's also the giant sewing machine-looking, you know, planetary trade space station looking thing, you know? And I thought that was really cool. I was looking forward to that, and that ended up not being in the game. That's in some of the trailers, in multiple trailers, actually, multiple. And so that wasn't in the game, but when Atlas Rises came out, those circular structures appeared, the ones that are in the art book. And I think that this is such a cool thing, you know, with the circular structures and then the large, gigantic trade stations that you see here in the picture. I think those are too cool to pass up, you know, and they knew that with the circular structures, and I think that's why they added them in Atlas Rises, which they serve the purpose right now to tell a little bit about the lore. I think that they're going to be something bigger with Next. I think they're going to have a bigger purpose with Next. And so you got those, and so I think that we're going to see these bigger structures in No Man's Skies, in No Man's Sky with Next. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, another thing that we've been talking about here a lot on the channel is Sam Swain. Sam Swain is a, you know, cities, procedural cities specialist, and he's been working there for about a year now. I don't think that he's been hired to make gigantic cities in No Man's Sky, but rather, I think there was maybe an issue, a problem of generation of these larger structures, and maybe they put those circular ones in there as a test to see how it would work, and it works very well. So hopefully, I'm hoping to see those large trade stations, those big ones, and hopefully they have some big interior. I also want to see more interior inside the space station. Those things are huge, man, and there's only a couple different options. I would like to see that expanded on, give it a little bit more explorability. And so those large structures, I think that's what Sam Swain is actually working on. And also, I think Sam Swain's also working on grouping things together, you know, larger clusters of settlements and, you know, those little trailers that we find out there. I think he's, you know, creating a better generation, you know, formula for all that stuff. And, but yes, what you see on the screen here is my big hopes for what I want to see in the game, and a lot of it too. Speaking of multiplayer, I want to go ahead and put on the screen here some fan art of somebody who looks like pencil drew this fan art of what his imagination on what it would look like if we have multiplayer. In this picture, you've got a bunch of starships just parked out along the hillside here, and if you look real close, you see a community of buildings being built, and if you look even closer, you can see some people down there kind of rejoicing in the fact that everybody's together and everyone can see everything else and stuff like that. And then you got flags there, you know, giant nomad getting ready to you know, kamikaze into the freaking area there. So really cool looking picture, and it's interesting because I want this to be true. I really do. I want to see you know, I don't want there to be any negative kind of multiplayer in No Man's Sky. I mean, I personally would like to have some kind of mode where we can, you know, shoot each other, you know, just for fun. But I think that No Man's Sky is about, you know, we've been searching for each other. We've been trying to find ways to be with each other and trying to congregate with each other and things like that. I think it's really cool, and I really hope that one day this drawing becomes a reality. So very good piece of artwork. And that is another big speculation of mine as well, is multiplayer and hub integration. I really think that Hello Games sees that's a trend with the way we play No Man's Sky, and I really hope to see that inside Next. And we got some more awesome artwork here, some fan art here from No Man's Sky, so that's really super cool. Another little bit of speculation that I have is that Next is going to be out before It's going to be out before the Xbox One release, because Xbox One release comes out with next on it day one, and I have no real proof that it's not going to be released at the same time as Xbox One. No real proof at all. I just feel it. I feel like that's going to be the case. There's going to be, selling it to Xbox One, it's going to be a hard sell. I think 505 Games knows exactly what they have, and they know it's going to be amazing, because they're really excited about it. 505 Games is super excited about No Man's Sky, and that is very telling to what we're going to be getting in next, because they've already seen it. They know what it's in it, and since they're super excited about it, and they're not worried about, how the rest of the world outside of the No Man's Sky community views No Man's Sky at all. They're not even worried about that. So there's reason to get excited about what is in next. There is a lot of good reason. We're not just getting a couple of new toys to play with in next. We are getting, it is my personal opinion, an overhaul of No Man's Sky, a rebranding of No Man's Sky. And I've said this before, and I said it with Atlas Rises, and if Next didn't exist, Atlas Rises it fundamentally changed the game. I mean, it started to bring up the Steam reviews to positive, a lot of positive Steam reviews, people going back and people changing their reviews from negative to a better review. So there was a big trend in that. And so, but this one, I think is, full in, all on board overhaul. The Sean Murray, he stated himself that he's can't wait for us to see to surprise us with this update. So excited, really excited. And if you think about it, a lot of us are speculating that they've had a whole year now to work on this update. It could be longer than that, guys. It could be a lot longer than that, because those trade stations that we've seen, they were in the old trailers, so it was an asset that they still have, and they didn't just throw it away. They still have it. And things like the that monolith that Sean Murray slept in front of during the IGN footage. I think it was IGN. No, it was with Anthony Carboni. I don't know if it was IGN or not, but Anthony watched Sean Murray go up to this monolith, interact with it, and then slept at the monolith, and it restored his health and stuff like that. And if you look up in the sky, you can see that there's a planet up there, and then when the time passes, the planet's gone. So during that time, there was planetary rotation in No Man's Sky. So I think that, that's something that's also still on, as a possibility that could be added back into No Man's Sky, the planetary rotation. Sean Murray said they took it out because it confused players. So I don't know. Maybe they found a way to flesh that out a little bit better, and hopefully we'll see that, because I think that's something that's really cool, even though it's not really a cool game mechanic that we could actually play with too much. But the fact that it's there and the fact that it's working, I think would be amazing to just to know that the planets are rotating, and that's the reason why there is a real day and night cycles, because the actual star in the star system is actually causing that, and the rotation of the planets as well is causing that actual day and night cycle. So I think that would be really cool to see in next. But the assets are there. They've had these assets before, and a lot of them just weren't used when the game launched. They weren't, and a lot of them weren't used for the following updates, except for those circular structures. So if you think about, people say that they've been working on this update for a year now. Man, what if they had a group of people there at Hello Games working on an update longer than that? And what's interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and explain something real quick here. There was an interview that was telling us what the updates were going to be before we even got them. It was August 8th of 2016, a video that was uploaded where Sean Murray confirmed that there was going to be building in No Man's Sky. And so that's really strange that we all missed that. I'll put a clip up here for you here in just a second, but it was August 8th of 2016 that told us about building. And so
an update for the game, and that should hopefully be going live Monday, or basically before the game comes out. And it's very important to us that people, that you guys play it with that update. And like, we've actually been working on it for 4 weeks, maybe just over that. The day the game went gold, we basically went out, celebrated, and then came straight back in the next day and began work on it. And there's a reason for that, and that's because we want No Man's Sky to be that type of game. So we want it to be one that is continually updated. It's this whole universe that we're created, and it's not a static thing. We want to add new features, new content, balancing. We want to listen to what people have done in the community and what stuff they really enjoy doing, and we want to nurture that, or different ways to play the game. There's so many things all throughout this game. People will constantly ask me things like, oh, can I have one person will want a dune buggy, another person will want a boat, another person will want, deep sea diving equipment, another person will want a base building meta game or whatever, another person will want to own freighters. And there's all these things that everyone asks me as if it is the only thing that the game needs, and of course you should have this kind of thing. With this small team, but we're hopefully going to be allowed to work on it for a while to come. Hopefully, if people are enjoying the game. Obviously, if everyone hates it and it's terrible, then we'll stop updating it. We won't do it just for our own amusement. But if people are playing it, and I hope they do, and I hope it's the kind of game that can have that, and it is in that kind of sandboxy genre, then we would want to keep updating it. We would do that not through DLC, but just through updates like Minecraft and stuff like that does. A lot of those games do, mainly on Steam and stuff like that, but it's perfectly applicable to console as well. And then we just go straight on to working on the next update. There's stuff that we haven't announced yet, but that me and Grant know we are working on. Some of our most requested features like being able to own freighters and being able to start building little things on planets and stuff, which is kind of a hugely requested feature. We wanted to get out day one what we see as almost like the explorer's route, right? Something that will keep you going from planet to planet to planet and focus our game around that. But once the game is out and people are enjoying that, there are other ways you could play. You could stay on a planet for days and days and weeks and build a little base and stuff like that, so we want to encourage people to do that. You could decide to become a trader, and we want to flesh that out, allow people to have freighters and things like that, and allow people to do trading at a much bigger scale. And so hopefully this is a starting point and a solid kind of canvas that we can put more ideas on.
That's kind of strange that we all missed that, but it's my opinion that they already had some of these updates ready and waiting to go. So I mean, a group of people working on a different version of No Man's Sky this entire time, and using those assets that they have that they've never used also for next. So there's a lot that could be piled into this update. There's a lot that we could be seeing in this update, and I'm super excited to see all that. But also keep in mind the fact that this is going to be, everyone keeps saying, I think this is a relaunch. I think this is a relaunch. Think about this, guys. This is a relaunch. There's no speculation about that whatsoever. This game is being launched on 2 additional platforms. Tencent Wii game in China. It's like a Steam version. It's like a Chinese version of Steam. They got a Steam version over there. Whatever. I messed that whole sentence up. But it's and then we've got Xbox One. 2 platforms that it's being launched on. So this is a relaunch. Okay, and with a relaunch, it's you don't just relaunch and there's not a significant change. And everybody knows what people outside of the No Man's Sky community think about No Man's Sky, right? So there is something in Next that is going to sell this title. Do not be afraid about being excited about Next. That's just as simple as that. I mean, there is a reason why this is being launched on 2 additional platforms. I mean, there's something in Next that I think is going to be it's going to surprise us, just like Sean Murray said. So Let me know down below what you guys think is in the update. Let me know down below what you guys want to be in the update. Also, I'm recording the Traveler. I'm almost done recording the Traveler. I just got a few more places I want to go. So if you have any portal addresses, please add me on Twitter at XXXCobra, and add me on Twitter and tweet at me your portal repository page, or tweet at me your your coordinates, or a picture, a screenshot of your portal address, things like that. If you want me to come see your base, I'll come see your base, and I'll leave a comm station that says the Traveler was here, and I'll put it away from your base a little bit, so that way it's not cluttering, it's not too close to you. And I just want to come visit you guys and see what's going on in your neck of the woods, down there, out there, around there, whatever. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I've got a lot of videos that I have to get edited, finish edited. I have probably about 5, 6, 7, 8 unfinished projects, and Elite Dangerous is one of them, and I got to get some of this stuff done. It's I'm working on each one of these things, and it's at the same time, and it's kind of crashing my computer, because sometimes I'll have Sony Vegas open, like four different windows of Sony Vegas, and it's just like, wow, it's just like my computer can't handle it. So I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna get this uploaded, and let me know what you guys think down below about the buildings. And Sam Swain, I love the Sam Swains on the team now, so I can't wait to see what that's going to give us next. Let me know what you guys think about that, and I'll get down there in the comment section with you later on while I'm at work, on my break, at my lunch, and I'll see what you guys are saying. As always, love you guys. Until next time.